Before you get pissed off, just hear me out, okay? Pothead, nobody's gonna take away your weed. I watched a video from Kurtzka, Kurtzka, fucking Kurtzka's. I'm not even gonna try to say that anymore. Look, just it's gonna be on the screen somewhere. I watched a video from them that just came out. It was about weed, and it got me thinking. It seems a lot of people use weed. Um, I get it. I mean, I'm not a person who's against it. I've never really been against weed. But I am against using it a lot. And this video just gave me more fuel to be like, yeah, wow, weed is not cool. I've never been a big weed person, a big marijuana guy. It's never really been me. Um, I used to do it quite often. I didn't smoke though. I didn't fucking like smoking. I never liked smoking. I don't like smoking right now. I hate the fucking sensation like when you smoke and it's like a dryness. I hate that fucking feeling. Like it's disgusting. So I can never really smoke. But what I did instead was edibles. But the crazy part is though, I never liked the way edibles or weed, marijuana, whatever made me feel. I never fucked with it. Like, well, I don't want to say never, but there would be times where I would like a part of it, like I take an edible and then I'd be in it and I would not like how everything is looping, which for me everything would fucking loop. But then there'd be a moment where I listened to some music and the music was longer. I would hear different parts of it and it'd be fucking awesome. Like, yeah, this is great. Or I'd be dancing and I could move in all these fucking great ways that I couldn't before or that I just didn't even think about doing before. But everything I did was just great. It was like awesome in terms of listening to music or watching a show or playing games, shit like that. It made it more fun. Um, but those were like enjoyable sections, right? Oh, and also Eden too, right? Eden was fucking great as well. But those were enjoyable sections of things that happened while I got high. But in general, though, the experience would typically be negative. And you may ask, why the fuck did you even do it? For me, curiosity, right? When I first took it, I wasn't enjoying it, but I was like, you know what? Maybe that was a bad time. Maybe I gotta try it again. And then the second time was bad. And then I was like, okay, let me try it again. Third time was bad. I still kept trying it because I was like, hey, everybody's saying how good it is. Why am I not enjoying it? Eventually, I was like, yeah, I just don't, I'm not gonna get a good experience out of it most of the time. But what kept me doing it was those good moments between those highs. So those good moments would be so good, it'd be good enough for me to go back and try it again. So I would resort to doing it when I would be bored or just, wanting to make my time doing whatever I'm doing just a little bit more fun. And, you know, during the pandemic, there was a lot of downtime. There was a lot of time to be bored. So I had a lot of time to do that. And actually, funny enough, I gotta show this. I gotta show this real quick. There's a video. Hopefully, I can find the video. But it was a newscast talking about. I think it was after the pandemic had just ended. I may be off on the times, but I know it was like after the vaccines, right? And I remember finding, or well, the news reported, new research shows that if you've done edibles, it may have like given you some sort of immunity. You could have some kind of defense against corona. When I'm hearing this, I'm like, what? What? And again, this is me hearing this as a person who like very recently started to do it. I mean, recently as in like the last year, you know what I'm saying, started to do it. So it's like, of course, hearing that, you're like, fucking awesome, right? And on top of that, keep in mind that everyone else in my house got corona. They weren't like sectioned off or nothing like that. They still walked through the house in areas that I was in. And my girlfriend at the time, she had corona. Now she didn't have it like while we were together, but like I would say literally a couple of days before we got together, she had corona. Like, bro, and I kissed her all up in her fucking mouth, and and I never got it. I never got nothing like that. So one of two things could have kept me from getting corona, which is no, one of three things really, which is that number one, I got some kind of natural immunity, which would be fucking dope. Number two, the fucking marijuana thing is the case, the edibles thing. Somehow it gave me some kind of defense against it. Or number three, I just got really fucking lucky and I just never got it. I don't know. Also, I never got the vaccine. Never will get the vaccine. I We need to make a video about the vaccine, actually, in fact, soon enough. But, anyways, that being said, though, never enjoyed it. Never enjoyed doing marijuana. Never enjoyed doing that shit. I mean, nothing against you if you do it and if you find joy from doing it. I mean, I like to drink, so I mean, I can't judge nobody. But I mean, I'm kind of after I watched that Kurt's Kazab, Kurt, I'm just gonna call it Kurt. After I watched that Kurt video, I'm or I was a person who would usually say like, "There's nothing wrong with weed. There's nothing wrong with smoking weed. There's nothing wrong with getting high from weed. It's not addictive. It's not a problem. Whatever. I mean, as long as you're doing it in moderation, whatever. You know what I'm saying? That's what I would say. As long as you're doing it in moderation, whatever, cool. But after watching that video, I mean, like now I'll be like, yeah, weed is bad. Okay. I mean, do it if you want to do it, but I don't know, man. Nah, I wouldn't even fuck with the shit. Just figure out why you even want to do it. And then instead of doing it, handle that thing. So that way you won't need weed. Let's say you're bored, like I was. Well, find a way to be less bored. Take up something new, like start skating, start playing an instrument, go to some kind of club or something like that. Not like a club as in like a fucking nightclub. I'm talking about a club like a social club, like a club where people get together and do arts and crafts or some shit. I don't know. I'm just saying, but don't resort to drugs, okay? Because weed is a drug, and like any other drug, it can be addictive. Yeah, that's a long spiel I'm gonna give. I usually never would, but now after that video, I definitely am. It's actually funny though, but recently I met a girl who really, really seriously is a serious weed head. Very serious. And I honestly, I don't think it's very uncommon. I think a lot of girls are serious weed heads, but she just happens to be the one I met and talk to and know a little bit about. And she fucking does. Smokes all the fucking time, like a chimney. That's all she does. You know, bored or not. You know, get with her friends, smoke. Go home, smoke. Uh, Playing sports, smoke. Eating, smoke. Like that's the type of shit she would do. Um, Nice girl. I don't have no issues with her, but I mean, it's like I kind of in the back of my mind was feeling like, damn, you smoke a lot, and I kept thinking like, man, I want to say something to her, but like I don't have no issues with weed, so what can I really say, But I kept thinking like I want to say something like, this ain't good, what I'm saying, this ain't good for you. But I really can't say nothing, right? Like if it was anything else, like if I seen her smoking meth, I'd be like, yeah, fucking meth is bad. Okay, look, meth is bad. Do I really have to even tell you why meth is bad? You know, but I had no kind of, I had no ammo per se. I had no ammo in my fucking repertoire of weapons that I could use against weed. You know what I'm saying? Because I just wasn't against it at all. But now I do. And I will say for the people out there who smoke, like again, like even though in that Kurt video they're not saying that weed is bad and you shouldn't do it, it basically goes along the lines of basically just do it in moderation and also know that you could become addicted. Like even though it's not like a big percentage, it's still possible. Before people just thought, it's not fucking possible to get addicted to weed. It's not addictive, but it is, which is what they're showing. They also show that it may even affect your brain permanently, but more studying is needed. The whole reason why people thought we did nothing is because there wasn't a whole bunch of research into it, but now there is. Even without this, I get good advice from my parents all the time. Something great my dad says is that moderation with anything you do in life. If you do it in moderation, for the most part, you should be all right. Now, that's not to say you should do meth in moderation. You shouldn't do it at all. But things like alcohol. Like, yeah, alcohol is not like great for you or nothing like that. But if you drink every weekend, it's not a big deal. There's nothing wrong with that. But if you're drinking every day, that's a fucking issue. Even smoking weed, nothing wrong with doing it. But doing it all the fucking time, that's when it becomes a problem. You feel me? Now, is this my PSA to people to not smoke weed? Yeah, it is actually. Yeah, no, this is my PSA to say don't do weed. Look, I mean, you don't have to listen to me. right? I'm just a random guy on the internet. You don't know me, I don't know you. But if you want to take my advice, if you can avoid weed, avoid it. Hey, if you can avoid drinking alcohol, I would avoid that too. But if you must indulge, hey, do it on special occasions. And hey, if you do it on special occasions, it'll make when you do it even better. I know it may make you feel real cool to do it and all that kind of stuff. And maybe you're not like me, and when you do it, you feel fucking great. You feel awesome when you do it. If that's the case, hey, awesome, man. Like, that's cool. But think about this, it's a crutch. Like, this thing for you is something you need. You need this thing to feel cool. How does that make you feel? I mean, I can't tell you how to feel. I'm just asking you a rhetorical question. You don't gotta answer it, but does that make you feel good? Like, to know that you have to have something to feel cool, to feel like you're all there? It just, to me, it seems like, I mean, to have to pay for something like a drug or alcohol, whatever the fuck, so that way you can have a good time, just seems really like depressing. Because that means you have some issues you're not facing in your regular state of mind. There's stuff you're not facing, and you're using something else to escape that. And it's like, that's sad. That's really sad. I hope, the people out there who need help get help and can escape fucking using weed or alcohol or whatever their fucking um vices, whatever your vice is, but you gotta want it, not me. I can't want it for you. You gotta want it. You gotta want to not uh be fucked up in whatever kind of way in your regular state. You got to want to not have that shit be a crush to you. And hey, is it just me, or does it seem like, actually, no, I know it's not just me. In the past, like 10, 15, 20 years, actually, weed has been pushed very heavily. Very, 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 very heavily. I'm hoping I'm showing, like, examples with all these pothead shows or weed episodes, like, throughout history. Has it ever been, like, something that, anything in history that's been pushed very heavily on the masses, has it ever turned out that that thing was actually good for people? Now, I'm sure we can probably find some examples. I'm not saying we can't, but I'm just saying, think about it though. I mean, and a lot of the times when things like that happen, it's not really super great. I mean, I want to even get into a little bit of conspiracy. If this comes out, I'm not saying this is the case because I don't know this, but if weed is somehow linked to impotence, that's going to seem very odd because it seems as if the world really doesn't want people to have kids. Actually, not even that it seems, there's been a lot of big push to make people stop having children. Because people are claiming that, oh, it's overpopulation, which, by the way, I don't believe in that. But that's really a whole other topic for another day. But I'm just saying, in this conspiracy theory that I'm giving out to you right now, doesn't that seem kind of weird if that is the case with weed, that if it does that? And it also lines up with, weed becoming legal in the last few years, and also them trying to make people have less kids. Isn't that kind of weird, those things line up, right? Or is that just me thinking that? I don't know. I don't know. That's how my mind works, man. This is what keeps me up at night. One last thing before I go. I do want to say this to anybody out there who's doing drugs or alcohol under the legal age. Just stop. Seriously. Really, just stop, man. It's not worth it. Just, if you want to explore when you're an adult, because doing this shit when you're underage and your brain hasn't fully developed, it's going to permanently fuck you, and you're not going to be able to see what you can truly be. Like, you don't even know what you're like yet. You don't even know who you are yet, and you're stunting that, and you're going to possibly stunt that forever, and never be able to see who you could be because you want to fucking try some weed. Are you serious? Like, come on, man. Weed's always gonna be around. Alcohol's always gonna be around. Even if you, some hot girl offered you it, there's always gonna be hot girls. Okay, it don't matter. Okay, youngster. Okay, all right. But anyways, though, I'm done preaching. I'm gonna get off my soapbox. All right, everybody. Anyways, though, that's all I gotta say. Peace.